So here we're going to look at an example of a position versus time graph and develop a motion story out of it. What information can I pull from this position versus time graph? All right, so we said that position versus time graphs give us a lot of information about where an object is located, where it starts, where it ends, and how it's moving in between. So the first thing we can say is, oh, well, the object is starting at a location that's negative relative to the origin. Now, I'm developing this story, so I'm going to call that, we're going to work in the horizontal world. So if it's starting somewhere negative, it's starting to the left of the origin. So the first thing I can say about my motion is it starts, or my object, left of the origin. So let's say I'm hanging out at the Memorial Student Center, and I'm going to call Jarvis Hall the origin. So, depending on how I'm looking, the Memorial Student Center is left of the origin, and Jarvis Hall is the origin. All right. So I'm starting at left of the origin. Now, how is the motion moving? Well, if we think about tiny little slopes, I have positive tiny little slopes as I'm moving. I'm moving from left towards the origin. So if I started on the left of something and I move towards the origin, let's just look at a kind of a number plane line like we've done before. If this is the origin and I start over here moving towards the origin, I'm moving to the right. So I'm starting left of the origin and I'm going to move. I start moving. I am moving rightward when I start. I have a tiny little slope here. So I already have some motion because slopes that are not horizontal mean I'm moving. They're positive, which means I'm moving right, and as I can see, as I'm moving towards the origin, I must be moving right if I started left of it. So I'm starting left of the origin, and I'm starting moving to the right. Well, I'm noticing that as I'm moving, my slope is getting shallower and shallower. So as I'm moving to the right to start, and I am slowing down as I move to the right. I'm slowing down. Once I hit the sidewalk right in front of Jarvis Hall, so I haven't gotten to the origin, haven't gotten to Jarvis, but I hit the sidewalk right before it, my position doesn't change. So I start to stand still before I reach Jarvis Hall. So I'm slowing down to a stop. I'm slowing down to a stop and I stand still. Well, after I wait for a little bit, I continue to move towards the origin in a positive direction. But what do we notice about it? It's at a steady rate. So, after a little bit of time, I move right at a steady pace. Totally missed Jarvis Hall. I go past the origin to the parking lot on the other side, lot 18. I go past the origin. Where I reach my car in the parking lot and get my keys out, staying still. To a location to the right of the origin. And I stand still for a little bit, grab my keys, but I'm late for class in Jarvis Hall, so I sprint from my car towards Jarvis Hall, or in this case, it's to the left. So I sprint at a steady pace, because it's a straight line, into Jarvis, where I stand and lecture. All right, so I got all that information from this picture where I started. I'm moving towards the origin to the right if I started to the left, but I I'm not covering as much distance as I go, so I'm slowing down. Then I'm staying still. I'm not quite to Jarvis Hall, my origin, not quite there, kind of looking for my keys for the classroom. Realize I don't have them. I need to get to the parking lot, which is on the other side of Jarvis Hall, so I walk at a very steady rate. I don't run because I don't want to run into any students. I walk at a very steady rate past Jarvis Hall to the parking lot, where I fumble around in my car looking for my keys, realizing I'm super late for class. I have to sprint back to Jarvis, steady rate, running really fast, so steep, but now to the left because I'm going in the other direction, where I stay put. So I can develop some story just based on the picture and on the way that the graph is represented from when I start to care to when I stop. All right, good job.